this is Matt here again with Shaving the Day. It's good to be back with another video, and it's time for another shave. Really quick to start off the video, I wanted to shout out Brian Foley. I've mentioned him before on my channel. He is just one of the most generous people in the community, the wet shaving community, and he was so generous as to send me a brush on his own without prompting or anything. He found a brush that he bought for really cheap on eBay and sent it my way, and it is from Sawdust Creation Studios. I believe the artisan behind it is Bobby Moffett, and look how beautiful this is. I'm not sure what kind of like resin or material this is made out of, but it's got a great color scheme there. Just beautiful artisan brush. Got the Sawdust Creation little coin there on the bottom, and a great, really soft and dense synthetic knot here on top. So just wanted to mention that, and just again, thank you, Brian. I really appreciate it. Sorry that it's taken me so long to show it in a video. I've just recently got back from vacation, so I had to wait for that. But there was a surprise in the package when it came, and they actually sent along another brush that Brian didn't even know about, and it is this Yachi 24mm Badger brush here with this really cool looking red handle. And that's the one that I'll be using in this shave, just because I have not used a really good Badger knot ever. All I have is a pure Badger, and to be honest, I hate it. And this is so much softer and more dense, and I've just heard a lot of good things about good Badger knots, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this in this shave, and I'll be showcasing this one in another video sometime soon. But again, thank you, Brian, really appreciate it. Anyway, today, you know what? I just decided that I wanted to try to grow out my beard a little bit. I don't know how committed I'll be to that. I don't know how long it'll last, but at least I've got about 5 days growth right now, and I'll stick with it for a little while until I can't stand it anymore, or if it looks really bad. But I decided I'd give it a try, so I'm gonna go ahead and shave, but I won't be shaving off my cheeks or anything like that. I'll just be trimming up my neckline. You can see that there's a fair bit of stubble here that I just want to clean up that line there and make it look more presentable as I grow it out. So it should be a pretty short video overall. It's a pretty hot day today, so I'll be using the Sudsy Soapery Lavender and Peppermint Triple Butter Shave Soap. Absolutely love this soap. It's a great formula. It lathers up really nicely, and it smells really good, and that peppermint oil that it has in it is just really potent. It has a really nice cooling, tingling feeling to it, especially with the splash. You need very little of this. It's super nourishing. It's more of a thick aftershave. Feels a little oily, which I actually kind of like. I feel like it helps soften up the hairs, and the peppermint and lavender scent in that is just really nice for the springtime and summer and warmer weather in general. So that's what I'll be using. You can see I've scooped it a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and scoop just a little bit and put it into my Captain's Choice copper bowl. And I'm really not using too much because I'm not shaving my whole face. So I'm just gonna go ahead and press that down into the center there, like so. And then I'm gonna go ahead and soak this Badger brush, and I'll come back and start lathering once that's done. All right, I am back. The Badger brush has been soaking for a few minutes, so it's ready to go. And I will be using the Rockwell 6S today to trim up my neckline. I have not used it in quite a while. I have it on the R6 plate, which is the most aggressive, as I've got about 5-6 days growth here, and should take care of it pretty nicely and hopefully give me a clean line. But we're gonna go ahead and squeeze some water out of this Badger brush. Got it here, all soaked up, and we're gonna go ahead and start lathering. So I'm excited to see how this brush performs in creating a lather and how it feels on my face. And I've only heard good things about nice Badger knots, and it can't be any worse than a pure Badger, to be honest. I hate the scratchy feeling of it, and it's just It's not a good knot. I would not recommend a pure badger to anybody. And you can see that it's starting to form a lather here pretty nicely, and it's loaded up well in the brush, so I'm going to go ahead and wet the tips. Keep going. Just recently got back from a really nice vacation with my wife's family in California. Went to LA and San Diego. Went to a few theme parks. Went to the San Diego Zoo. San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Had a great time exploring the area as well. Coronado Island was really cool. And the weather was just perfect, and it was just really nice to get away for a little bit. Some really nice lathers forming up in here and on the brush. Just want to make sure I hydrate it enough. And just wet the tips one more time, and I think it'll be good. As I've mentioned, every time I've used it, this Captain's Choice bowl is just fantastic. I even brought it to California with me and used it every time I shaved. And it's, you know, it's a substantial size, but it's small enough to still be a travel bowl. And I probably will bring it everywhere I go, because it just creates a lather that other bowls that I have cannot do. So look at that there, and really nicely loaded up in the brush as well. I'm gonna go ahead and wet my face, and then we'll start lathering. All right, we're gonna see how this brush performs. I will say I'm by no means an expert at trimming up beard lines. Never done it before, so if anyone has any tips on how to do it better than I do in this video, please let me know. I've watched a few tutorials and have general guidelines on what to follow, but I may not do it properly, so we'll see. It's only about 5 or 6 days worth of growth, so it's not a big deal if I screw up, but I do want it to look presentable. So, and my beard, I've never grown out a beard before. I've only grown out this circle here with the goatee and mustache. So we're gonna see how well it will fill in. As you can see, it's not the fullest on my cheeks. It stops at about right here, which actually is a pretty natural line. So I'll kind of trim that up on both sides. And then the general, you can hear the cat scratching at the door, sorry. General rule of thumb, I believe, is to be about just above the Adam's apple and a direct line to the corner of the cheekbone on both sides, kind of a straight line. So that's what I'm gonna go for here. We're gonna start lathering up. Apologize for the noise. Hiccup really wants to get in here. I am not in my normal bathroom, so he's excited that he always tries to get into this bathroom downstairs, and you can tell he just really badly wants to get in there. This brush is nice and soft for a badger, I can already tell. Not as soft as a lot of my synthetic brushes, but there's a nice scrubbiness to it, but not too much, and it does feel really nice on the face. It's not as scratchy as a boar brush, and I think it looks really nice too. Really like this red handle. I've heard a lot of good things about Yachi. Some people say Yaki, but I think it's supposed to be pronounced Yachi. Really nice tingling from the peppermint on this soap here. I'm just gonna apply it to the cheek too, because I'm gonna trim up the top of that line there. Just gonna paint it on there. By no means am I an expert. Almost got something right in my mouth there. At this, and we'll see how it turns out. see how long I can even stand to stick with it, so don't get your hopes up, but I think it'll be interesting to try. And see, I gotta wet this lather just a little bit more. Sudsy Soapery doesn't get used very much, but they do have some really nice shave soaps and aftershaves. They're really small artisan that sells their stuff in St. Louis, and I'd recommend giving them a try if anything on their website seems interesting to you, because from my use of these products, the soap and aftershave, they are really, really enjoyable. All right, I'm gonna call that good. First, I'm gonna trim up the top line here. Just gonna keep a pretty straight line there. Not touch the sideburn at all. I think that's probably pretty good. That's about where the hair stops anyway. Probably pretty good. Looks like I may have gone a little lower on this side, so I'll just go slightly lower. It's not gonna make much of a difference in how it looks, I don't think. All right, and then like I said, the general, oh, there's a badger here right there. General rule of thumb is to go kind of like slightly above your Adam's apple, which for me would be right here, and to go up to your cheek line. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'll be able to trim it up nicer when it grows out a little more and I can see it better. I think that's pretty good. I did wipe off some of the soap with the razor there, but I didn't actually shave that, so it didn't go up too high. It's kind of right where it's supposed to be. So shave that there. And then I will go towards this cheek line. And this 6S on the 6 blade is just really knocking it down nicely. Always enjoy this razor. I really should use it more, but I've been enjoying vintage razors a lot lately too. All right, you can see kind of a more defined line there, so I think that looks good. And I'm going to go ahead and rinse off, and then I'll throw some more lather on there to go against the grain. All right, just rinsed off, and you can see it's a pretty good line. Went up a little too high right there, but that's okay. And I'm not worried about it. I think it looks a lot better with that neck part cleaned up. I don't know how well you can see it in this lighting, but I think it looks significantly better. And I'm going to go ahead and just throw some lather on here to go against the grain. And I'll kind of try to keep that to that line just so I can make sure I don't go up too high. I can go ahead and wipe it off there. I went up a little too high already, but I can tell that this badger knot does hold lather inside of it much more than a synthetic, so that's something to get used to. I'll release it by scrubbing a little bit. Actually, I feel like it's kind of scrubbing the lather off. So it'll take me a little bit to get used to using a badger knot for lathering, but I do really like the feel of it and the look of it, and I think I can make it work. Again, I'm no expert and this is my first go at it, so I'm sure it doesn't look perfect, and I wouldn't recommend anyone copying my technique or anything like that, but this is just how I'm doing it for right now. And if I had trimmers, well, I do kind of have trimmers, those would help get some straighter lines to begin with. But as you can see, you can still definitely wet shave even if you have a beard. You just won't be shaving as much, which is okay. All right, we gave it a rinse off and we can look at the line. They say about 2 fingers above your Adam's apple is where to bring it, and that's about where it is. I may have gone up just a little too high, but you can tell that it is a pretty good line to the cheekbone. I may have taken that up slightly too high as well. That'll just improve with experience as I do it more, but I think it looks pretty even for the most part. It does slightly go up there, but that's not a big deal. I don't think most people will notice, and if they do, I don't really care at this point. But it looks much more presentable to me, and it's nice to not have all that scratchy neck hair there, so I feel pretty good about it. And I'm going to go ahead and throw on some of this aftershave splash. Right here, the Lavender and Peppermint from Sudsy Soapery. Don't need much at all. Yep, that's really nice. And my eyes are tingling already because I probably used a little too much. That peppermint is very strong in this one, but it really does have a nice consistency to it. You can tell how nourishing it is, and it really softens those hairs and makes it feel really nice after a shave. So definitely recommend giving them a try. Stay tuned, and we'll see how this goes with growing out the beard. But happy with how it went for a first go, and we'll see where it goes. So thanks for watching and tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one.